Okay, so in the last tutorial we studied about the application context basically, and how using an application context we implemented the dependency injection feature. Context was nothing but another IOC container, and also we ran the application and displayed the data. So in today's tutorial we will discuss about the different aware interfaces provided by Spring. So we discussed about this aware interfaces provided by Spring. Actually, Spring provides many aware interfaces which is used to provide us the necessary things. Like see, we saw that we have a manager class and we have a director class, and in the display data we first of all get the hold of context, that is nothing but my IOC container, and then basically we call the get bean method and get the bean. It's not necessary that only in the main class we need to have a director object. In another classes, say we are having 100 classes, and in 8th class I want to get an hold of the first class, then what I need to do, I need to create a object of the first class using say new operator and then call its method. But if we are using dependency injection, we don't want that. What we want is that in that 8th class we get an hold of the application context, that is IOC container, so that we don't need to create an object using new and then directly call the object of the first using that context, the same way we did in the main class. So you get the use case. What we are trying to do is that getting a hold of context in the another classes also, so that we can call the appropriate beans in whichever class we require. So now let's do it in the, say you are having director class. So let me do the we have a application context aware. This is by Spring Framework context. We add the unimplemented method. That is set application context. You can just rename it to context. This will give you the complete container with all the beans being populated in that, all the wiring of the beans or the dependencies being injected. You can just call the get and bean and get the appropriate bean whichever you want. Like in this director you want to get manager class bean, this definitely you can do it by using this application context. Also whatever context that method will give, we'll set it to another member variable. Now in this class what I will do is this dot context equal to, that's it. So you get a hold of the whole context which you got in the display data. Now we want to see that whether this context is like of useful or not. So what we can do is we can just call the context dot get bean of, let me create a manager bean over here. I will just typecast it to manager, so you can do the typecasting. After that I will do what, manager dot get address, and let me do it in a sysout so that I am clear. Manager or I guess in that manager get address we are already doing it. Let's just check it out. Yes, in this we are already doing it, so we will just call the manager dot, not get address, we can call the manager dot address method over here, so that in that only we are just printing already, so why to print again? So manager dot address. Clear? So what we have done is we have got the hold of context in another class apart from the main class, and in that main class now we get a hold of this complete context. You saw the diagram which I showed you, and in that already beans are populated, so we don't need to create a new manager object in director. We just did context dot get bean and we get an manager dot get address. So let's run this application. See, we are able to get the manager address and the director address both. If I just comment it out in the director class, then I'm just getting director address. Clear? And also you saw one thing, that when I am like not commenting it out, first it prints the manager and then it prints the director address. So it means that first this is aware interfaces are being checked, that whether any class has implemented the aware interface or not. After creating that BeanFactory, it checks for these aware interfaces, that whether any class has implemented it or not. If it has implemented it, it gives the hold of that context to that aware interface and goes to its unimplemented method. And once it goes to that unimplemented method, which is nothing but my set application context, it gives that context, it calls the method, and it flows come back to this application context, and then director is called. That is why when you're running it, the first it prints the manager address and then the director address, because this class has implemented my aware interface. So this is about the application context aware interface. In the similar fashion, like the application context aware interface gives you the hold of context, and it's a very important feature because you can get as many objects in another classes as you want. We have another aware interface which we can discuss, that is a bean name aware interface. This is nothing but this is the one which gives you the name of the bean which is being currently executed. Let me show you. You have many aware interfaces. If you check the Spring docs, you will get many aware interfaces. So let's just print the add the unimplemented for this aware interface also. See, so let me rename it to bean name. So this is just giving you the clear. Now when you run the application, see, you got the bean name director. Because it goes to this aware interface and it sees that this is the bean name and this class is which? This is a director class. So inside this director class I am writing the set bean name method. So this is going to give you the bean name which is director. Clear? And then your another aware interfaces are called. So this way you can get the bean name also. So that's all about the aware interfaces.